The good, the bad, and the odd will swallow your soul.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd. Your hosts, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello there.
So we're doing something unusual this time. We're unusual in the fact that we did a modern film really recently. It wasn't the last episode, the episode before we did The Odyssey. We're doing another one that's just come out. We're doing Spider-Man Brand New Day. Yeah, so this is in the cinemas. Doing gangbusters at the box office, apparently.
I think it's become the biggest box office weekend,
Really?
or something like that.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
it's damn close, right? It's damn close. And apparently it's still picking up a load of business week 2 or something. So that's quite cool. So yeah, I went to see it at the cinema reasonably recently, as did you. Did you prepare at all for this? Did you rewatch any of the films or any of that business?
No, it was fresh enough in my mind.
It's fresh enough, yeah, I get it.
That's
It
how
is
it's-
kind of
so,
fresh, yeah.
Mhm.
I did watch them because they're all on the iPlayer, which is kind of cool. I was actually going to watch all of them, but in the end, I was going to kind of do it backwards. I was going to watch all the Tom Holland ones, so at least I got that done. And then I was going to watch the Andrew Garfield ones, and then I was going to watch the
Sam
Raimi ones. But in the end, I only watched Tom Holland ones. But I think I'm quite still on iPlayer, and they're all on the iPlayer. Weird, isn't it? I might actually still do that, but I just once I got the Tom Holland ones, I felt like I'd gone through enough. Not that it was a bad thing. It was great. It was great to rewatch all three. Really enjoyed it. It's just I couldn't fit in. I wanted to do them all or just those three, and in the end I just did those three, if that makes sense for this one. So what did you think?
I really enjoyed it. Like, I think it might be my favorite of the Tom Holland ones.
I couldn't argue with that, and I really enjoyed it too. And I have a different favourite one, and maybe we'll talk about that at the end, right? You know, we'll compare it to the other films maybe. But I really enjoyed it too. It was up there, but I think all four films are really solid. Is my feeling anyway. Yeah, there was nothing I could really thought about it, to be honest. It was just an enjoyable, rompy sort of thing. I was impressed to have how well some of the elements I wasn't expecting to work did work as well. I'm being generic here, so because we're not quite to spoilers yet.
Yeah.
But there were bits I saw in the trailer. I thought, oh god, that ain't gonna work. But actually, it did. It was great. Okay, we'll get into spoilers from this point on.
Shall we give a rating before we?
Yes. What would you give this?
I'd give this an 8 or a 9.
I'm gonna say I'll give it an 8. Maybe on the lower end of the 8 for me. But it's better than 7.5. Let's put it that way. And we don't even do half ratings. But yeah, I really liked it. It's just I liked one, possibly two of the others a little more than this, but I thought it was very solid. And I can't explain why I don't rate it higher. All the elements worked for me, but I just felt I had more fun, and I felt there were some elements in the other ones that were a little more joyful. So maybe it's just that. But all the actors, all the casting, the story worked for me. It was good.
Okay.
One thing I was amazed at was how well the Punisher stuff fit in, because that was the one thing I was expecting not to work, because it's like, oh, they're just going to soften Frank Castle to make it work in this film, and they don't. It kind of works for me. What about how do you? What do you think?
I really like Frank in this. Or him and Peter kind of slipped into this big brother, little brother sort of arguing.
It's a much better relationship than, say, Frank has with Daredevil, isn't it? That's much more confrontational and like you're an half measure kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Frank's all right with Spider-Man. He thinks a lot of the kid, right? He does.
Yeah,
you could tell.
In the comics, not so much, but
In the comics, not so much. But I don't know if you saw it, but that finale that recently came out from Marvel of what was it called? One Last
Kill. Yeah.
Helped to sort of explain how he became this version of the Punisher somewhat, right?
I do like that he had his van now. Like in
Oh,
the
yeah,
comics, he
van.
always has this horrible, like, grungy van that just has all his guns in the back, and he finally got that. with
Yeah.
this one.
And John Berthel was really good in this. I mean, he
Mm,
was really good in the Odyssey as well. He didn't have much of a part in the Odyssey, but he had a part, and he was pretty good at that. But
mm,
even better in this, I think he's really
yeah,
good, really good in this.
yeah. I think he's
Um,
just enjoying himself more in
yeah,
this
I think
one.
we're shaping up to a Punisher movie. Personally,
Possibly.
I'd like to see one, but we'll see. I also quite like, wasn't expecting Florence Pugh appearing in
Okay.
a relaxed way.
So
You
I
know,
fall into spoilers now. So yeah.
did we announce spoilers? Sorry,
It
I thought.
says, yeah, never mind. So yeah, Florence Pugh makes a brief appearance and she is now fully titled as the new Black Widow.
Yes, and
Uh,
she references the new Avengers too, right?
mm,
But that's not a
yeah,
surprise particularly.
nah.
Um,
Uh, and then we also have Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk and
yes,
Dr. Banner showing up.
and the biggest reveal. I will save it till we get to that bit of the plot. But there
Mm,
is another character which is like, whoa!
yeah.
I did not expect this character to be in this film. But yeah, okay,
Mm.
and it's quite important, right? So the last movie, which was, I always get the titles mixed up. It
The last
was
movie was No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Mm,
Basically, to stop the multiverse collapsing and bringing create disaster on this Earth, he
mm,
asked Doctor Strange to cast a spell so he would be forgotten by everyone. Um,
mm.
so this. And we do see a coda at the end of that film, and I don't know where he's about to tell MJ, but he
It
doesn't. He
decides
decides
not
not
to.
to because
Yeah,
they've got the good news, and and they're all happy.
yeah.
And this movie proceeds with him in that state, right? He's
Yeah, he is
basically,
not healthy at this point. He's solo, living his life as Spider-Man. Really,
yeah,
he doesn't.
under the radar
Yeah,
and everything,
he
right?
lives in like an attic in the in somewhere in New York, and while he has a lot of tech, the people that he does talk to, namely the police commissioner,
Yeah,
police sergeant that he's like friendly with and has a direct line of contact to.
uh,
Uh, he doesn't talk to people.
no.
Like he
And
doesn't do
she's
anything.
quite concerned about him, isn't she?
Yeah,
Saying you need a break, things like this, because he's getting a bit messed up, but he's also obviously kind of depressed or
yeah,
borderline
he's suffering
depressed.
under this.
Yeah, even though he's using his Spider-Man is probably his only bit of um I don't know, not joy, but escape.
Social activity.
Yeah, social activity, and it's still full Spider-Man with the quips and
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
of
he
that.
doesn't stop doing the jokiness, but it is much more of a he's defended like protected himself rather than getting close to anyone.
Yeah.
So
So I'm always a bit confused about Spider-Man films because they're kind of billed as Sony, but then produced under Marvel, but distributed by Sony, right? So they are
yeah,
Marvel films.
yeah. So Sony owns Spider-Man and all the Spider-Man characters,
Yeah.
but it being part of the sort of wider MCU, that's owned by Marvel now and Disney. Uh,
Yeah.
but so in order for this to come, which would come about, which would make both companies, let me be clear, a spectacular amount of money.
Yeah.
They came to an agreement. There was a brief kerfuffle about it before Far From Home came
Right.
out,
Yeah.
but clearly that's no longer a problem. And they're just sort of going about it with Spider-Man solo films. I'm gonna guess Sony gets the majority of the money and has like creative control.
Yeah.
And then the group up movies like Civil War, the Avengers films, that's Marvel's but side of it. So
Yeah. And there was, I just got to say, at the end of one of I can't remember if it was the second or third one,
mm.
there's a kind of hint that Venom might be getting involved.
Yeah, that's at the end of
Because
the third one.
third one. And I honestly, for part of this, I was thinking, is this a Venom thing? But Venom's being undercover? Because it could
Yeah,
have been. It's possible. It wasn't very Venomy, but it's
yeah,
possible some of the elements.
yeah,
I was a bit quiz. I was a bit confused. Not confused. I was a bit trying to
yeah.
work it out before it was revealed, kind of thing. And I was
Mm,
wondering if it was a Venomy thing, but it didn't appear to be.
no.
Um.
If and
So
when they do Venom, I want them to do like a full film of Black Suit Spider-Man before they
yes.
roll out Venom. I
Just
want
want to
like that.
say, I do like the Venom films quite a lot, actually.
Yeah,
They're good fun films. Anyway, so so Peter's doing his thing, but
yeah.
there's
We get a pretty good montage of like him fighting a bunch of different supervillains as well, and
Scorpion.
recreating a lot of comic book covers. So yeah, there's the Scorpion one, there's Tombstone, there's also a couple of others that the villains themselves are kind of out of view. So there's Boomerang, who's recreating a famous shot of Spider-Man sort of swinging, where he's got basically his knee up near his head, and is
Yes.
angling
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But that's that cover involving Boomerang. We got Tarantula, and then we got I can't remember his name. I think his name's like Ramjet or something like that. The
Oh,
guy who
I was trying to
ran through a
why
wall.
what was it? Juggernaut. I was thinking, was that Juggernaut? But it
No,
didn't
that's
look like
way too
Juggernaut.
small to be Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I was trying to work it out, but it didn't look. It's facially, it didn't look like. It looked like another villain, but I didn't know which
yeah,
villain it was. But yes,
yeah,
um, Spider-Man. Sorry, Peter's also kind of monitoring MJ and Ned, and
yeah.
how well
He's
they're doing at
watching their
MIT.
social media. So.
And this gets those guys graduating, so it's kind
It's
of
3 years, I think.
years. This is years we're talking about, all right?
Mm,
He's basically he gets a call and that a tank is being driven through New York, and he's trying to stop it, but it's like a proper battle tank firing guns at him, and he's trying to evade that and trying to take
mm.
out this tank. But then the Punisher
Frank
gets
shows up in
involved
his in
and
his
starts
in his
shooting.
van.
And Spider-Man's like, Frank, will you just leave it? And is that? And Frank's a bit not entirely antagonistic. He's not trying to kill Spider-Man, though he
No,
does shoot at him. But
he hits him with a
it's
grenade
like,
launcher
yes,
to
um,
be fair to him,
and
but
there's kind of Spider-Man's having to deal with both a tank running towards a damage control center,
mm,
and the Punisher getting involved and throwing massive guns and doing all sorts of
yeah,
damage.
there's a very funny bit where Peter's like Spider-Man's hanging off the front of Punisher's van, and Punisher pulls out a grenade launcher. Peter just like uses his webs to just take it off him, and Frank just picks up a second grenade
Of
launcher.
course, he's got a second grenade.
Yeah,
It's the Punisher, right?
the gun that shoots knives. So,
Yes.
but,
So there's that, but he does manage eventually to stop the Punisher by basically throwing himself into the van, right?
yeah, he catapults himself through the van, which kicks Punisher out the back,
Out the back, and the
and he's
Punisher's
not
like,
happy.
it's really
So,
a bit
so
cross.
pursuit on the tank resumes, but the tank is able to crash through the Department of Damage Control's front gate and
Yes.
into the sort of holding area, where it does have some of the villains, including Scorpion. Now, I thought this was going to be a lead up to a Sinister Six sort of thing,
Yeah.
because they had all the like villains. They made costumes for them.
Right.
They're
I
not.
don't know what that is.
So the Sinister Six is like a group of It's Spider-Man villains grouped together.
Right.
It tends to rotate who's in it. Doctor Octopus is normally in it. Scorpion is very frequently in it. You
Vulture.
see Mysterio, Vulture, yeah, is another common one.
I was wondering if Vulture would reappear in this one actually while I was
Hmm.
watching it. I thought
Yeah.
there was a possibility.
No, from what I gather, he's now in the Sony like villains universe.
Right.
Like he's in the Mobius film.
Okay. I don't remember
Yeah.
that. I don't remember. Mind you,
He was in the trailers, so yeah,
I must have blotted that out.
yeah.
Oh yeah. The only good thing about that was Matt Smith is all I can remember. Okay. And there's a sort of a middle-aged woman driving a tank who seems
Yeah.
quite confused. But we obviously, as filmmakers, we perceive a being
first-
is jumping from person to person, right?
Yeah, and so does Spider-Man, because he can kind of tell spider sense through spider sense. I think it's supposed to be
Yeah.
that something's going on.
Yeah.
And whoever's doing the body jumping even says, "You can tell where I am." That's neat. And then keeps doing it to see if he can keep up. So,
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So it's Spider Sense or Peter Tingle or whatever you want to call it.
yeah.
Peter
I'm
Tingle
just going to
from
refer to it as the spider
Spider
sense.
Sense.
Like that's
Yeah,
weird.
sorry.
So
All
he
right, sorry.
chases this character around the area until eventually they are able to escape in a helicopter. It then makes it clear that no one using it really knows what happened there.
Yes.
But they,
So what then happens is he talks to their head. Basically, Scorpion escapes at this point, right?
yeah, so Scorpion is in the helicopter that's the possessed person flew away,
Yeah.
and they proceed to like get away really.
Yeah.
Um, the so they start. Spider-Man has a bit of a meeting with the head of the Department of Damage Control.
Yeah, it was a real shit hill. You could tell straight away. It's kind of a
Yeah, he
shit hill.
uses a lot of
It's,
kind of spooky language.
yeah, and it's like too
Uh,
smooth. It's too smooth,
yeah,
right? Too
it's
smooth.
it's yeah, it's very kind of
It,
obvious. It's like
yeah, it's
you're either a
telegraphed
fake
immediately.
villain or you're just a villain.
Or a shit hill is the other
Yeah,
possibility,
just an
right?
asshole.
See, I
Um,
read him as a shit hill, and then he became something out more than that. But it
hmm,
was just always one of those corporate guys. You know, he's Burke from Aliens. He's that kind of guy,
yeah,
right? So, so he Spider-Man then goes and visits Yelena, Black Widow, the new Black Widow,
yes,
Florence Pugh, who has an office in like a
sauna.
spa,
Yeah,
and says, "Take take your outfit off. This is my office, my rules." And he does, but he leaves the mask on, and she's kind of
yeah. Which
she,
is another common Spider-Man thing, where it's like any sort of situation where he's like out of the suit but still in character, the mask stays on. So
stays on. And Yelena thinks this is funny, but she does tell him that before the attack, someone has been attacking through 30 different people within the organization.
yeah, they
Have been
searched
searching
the
for
term
something called
VMAX.
VMAX. VMAX.
Mm.
Um, so Parker then asks the director, "Does the word VMAX mean anything to you?" Who says, "No, I don't know what that could be." It turns out he doesn't know what it could be.
Yeah,
There is a reason he doesn't know what it is because he
but this
doesn't.
is a nice, I guess, untwist
Yeah.
where it's like he doesn't know the secret because the secret is nothing
Yes. Yes. One of
to
those.
him.
Um.
Like it's kind of significant to other people, but yeah.
Um.
So this is the bit where, while just chilling out in a like a cafe, Peter bumps into Ned
Yeah.
Leeds,
Yes.
and then starts to follow him after he is clearly getting stuff for a party. He gets like a couple of kegs and energy drinks.
Kegs. Yeah. And he says, "Don't sell me this energy drink," and then immediately drinks it and things
Yeah,
like
immediately buys some and drinks
that.
it. But
And there's lots of jokes about it killing him eventually. Things like
yeah,
that.
I feel like they're setting something up there, but I couldn't really tell
Mm,
what it was because it
yeah.
never
There was a
didn't
bit
come
of
to
a few.
fruition here.
There was a
So
few comments here and there that sounded like foreshadowing, and that's one of them. There's another one that was foreshadowing, which I haven't mentioned because I'll get to it when the actual reveal happens. I'll just go
okay.
back. Don't want
Hmm.
to say at this point. Yeah, essentially, the MJ and Ned they flatmates. They're flatmates,
Yes.
right?
So they're flatmates, and there's also MJ's new boyfriend.
Boyfriend.
And they're throwing like the boyfriend is unnamed in the film. People have taken to referring to him as Paul after a thing that's going on in the comics recently where MJ is now married to a guy named Paul.
Okay.
So that's something going on there. No one quite likes that comic book plot thread from what I gather. But yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Now I can't remember the timelines, but eventually Peter goes to a housewarming
yeah, he
of
follows
theirs.
Ned and just
Oh,
sort of
is it
wanders
straight
into
to the
the house.
party? Straight
Yeah.
to the party. And he sort of no one quite knows
It's a
who he is.
bit creepy, but
Yes. Yeah, but
yeah.
Ned's quite he kind of gets on all right with
Yeah,
Ned, doesn't he? And
Ned's affable enough that like yeah, they just get along when they're talking.
yeah, and he does interact a little with MJ as well, who
Mm,
clearly has no memory of him, and none of them have memory of him at all. He knows this. Um, this troubles him quite a bit, and he goes back. Basically, you see him wake up in his apartment, but then weird stuff starts happening. He seems to be over. His senses seem to be in overdrive, and he can't
mm,
understand it. And
yeah.
then web
faints.
fluid comes out of his wrists as well instead
Yeah.
of his
Well,
equipment.
he faints unconscious and then he wakes up in a cocoon.
Oh yes, that was really cool actually. And he has to climb out of it, and
Mm.
he's only in his undies, isn't he, or something like that? I can't remember.
Yeah, he's just in. I think he might be naked.
Oh
Because when he
yeah, and he
goes in,
steals someone's washing, doesn't he?
yeah, and he bumps into that person. He's got the what's it, juicy written on his ass.
Well, it's also got a tank top that's way too short, so it looks like a
Yeah,
crop top. And the woman goes, "Is that my top?" And he's going, "No." And as he walks out, you see "juicy" written on his ass.
yeah.
It's just like, oh, he's obviously stolen her clothes. And
Mm,
doesn't she earlier kind of try and say hello to him, like, "Oh, I live on this floor," and he's like, "Okay," and just walks off.
mm.
So there was a little thing going on.
Yeah, that was more to establish that he's like he's distancing himself from everybody. That scene,
Yeah.
and then
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
we
yeah,
bump
yeah.
into this where it's a little, yeah. Um, so he wakes up and he's
Just want to go back to that scene. That reminded me a bit of wasn't there elements in the Sam Raimi one where there was a girl next door who was trying to uh,
yes, in I
uh
think it's the second or third.
yes, yeah.
There's
I do
the
remember that.
landlord's daughter.
That's right, yeah, makes cakes and things. Yeah,
Mm.
it reminded me of that a bit, but this was way undeveloped compared to that, right?
Yeah, it
Um
didn't. Nothing really
Nothing
came of
came
it.
of it.
So
Um he's kind of having to deal with there's something weird going on. He's able to sometimes, in an uncontrolled way, shoot web out of his own wrists rather than use the web shooters, and his senses are playing up, and it's kind of it's he's having trouble, isn't he?
mm,
He's having trouble, but he does manage to find Scorpion, right?
mm,
Who's now also trying to break back into the um,
yeah,
Department of Damage Control. Um,
yeah.
but then the telepath, sorry, the
As he's fighting him, Scorpion goes, "You don't recognize that I'm in here, do you?" And
yes,
it becomes clear whoever caused the damage was the one who is now possessing Scorpion. And
yes,
Peter beats the brakes off of him after he cut. Like
yeah,
Scorpion knocks him about, and because of his failing power, because of his new organic web shooters, he can't wear his usual web
web
shooters,
shooters,
and he hasn't got full grip on the organic ones. So
and he's
he's
a little
getting
out of
beaten
control
up.
with his senses as well.
Yeah. So he
Um,
kind of gives into the spider side of him and proceeds to beat the brakes off a Scorpion.
yeah, and then he's swinging him around by his towel, and he
Yeah,
actually knocks
into
over a cop car. Knocks
yeah.
back a cop car, damages that. Well, sends it flying through the air, frankly.
Yeah, they need to get an ambulance for the officer. And Scorpion, I thought they were going to lead into a bit where someone there's a bit in the comics where someone possesses Spider-Man and without knowing Spider-Man's full strength, punches Scorpion's jaw off. And he
Oh,
like not
oh
realizing that
yeah, it's
Scorpion's that strong.
isn't it?
So
Isn't it?
let's
Doc Ock
not
or something?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
yeah, he didn't realize just how much Spider-Man holds back his strength.
Pulls his punches. There's some references to that in some of the other films. Yeah, I stopped pulling my
Yeah.
punches. I
Yeah.
remember that line. Um,
But I thought that was going to happen. But he just kind of beats up Scorpion, and whoever's possessing him basically says, "Okay, you've messed with me twice. Now I'm going to go after the people you love, like MJ." And so he just starts rattling off people,
yeah,
and that throws Peter for a loop
yeah.
because
He
of how
knows he
secret.
has to kind of protect them, but he doesn't know how to protect against this thing.
Mm,
Um, However, there's also in this universe, Bruce Banner is now a professor lecturing, and he wears a special inhibitor that stops the Hulk.
yeah, this has
Yeah,
been a known thing for a while. He appeared back as Bruce Banner in the Shang-Chi, and then
I
in the
did.
She-Hulk show, he explained this inhibitor,
Oh, I
which
hadn't
then
seen that, but that's
part of which is it broke then, and that's part of the reason She-Hulk's a thing. But
okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
so he has something that prevents him being a Hulk.
yeah, and we see him
Uh,
trying to do a class, but the students just want to hear stories about
yeah,
Battle of New York and being a Hulk. And even one of the students even dressed up as the Hulk, green painted green, going
yeah,
Hulk smash.
it's
And
proper old
Bruce
Lutheran.
is just laughing it off, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there you go. That's
Mm-mm.
that's this. But then Peter approaches him. Basically, he attends the lecture like a student and starts asking him about the suppression. Can you make a universal one? And
Mm.
in the end, Bruce is like, "You're not one of my students, are you?" Um, so he kind of knows. Anyway, um, Peter starts working on his own inhibitor. He's trying to stop these other powers
Mm.
appearing, so he can actually still Spider-Man it up, right?
Yeah. Now he
But
does go and get Mary Jane at this point because of the what the antagonist
yeah,
said,
yeah,
and he basically takes her, and then Mary Jane says, "I'm starting to," basically starts remembering stuff, and they can't quite figure out what. Well, it ends. The scene really comes to a height when Mary Jane and Spider-Man kiss, and she seems to remember everything.
yes.
And then she
That's
goes, "Oh, you really believe this?" She'd been taken over by the telepath the whole time.
yes. And the telepath was basically gaslighting him, right? Or I
Mm,
don't know what you'd call it, pretending to be MJ to
yeah.
make him feel. And obviously, it's a really cool scene. I have to
Mm,
say, I think Zendaya was really good in this film.
yeah, she
In
really
fact, the
sold that
entire
bit.
cut, but she was really, she gets better and better in each film. She was really good in the last one. She's really good in this, and you get the full emotion, the raw emotion out of her, and it's believable and it really works. I really
Mm,
liked it. So Peter's like distraught. He thinks she's figured it all out and she's forgiven it, but no,
no.
it's the telepath. Who's got into his head a bit, or can get into his head a little, but not
Yeah, she
much.
keeps jumping into it, and again, something I know from the comics is that telepaths have a rough time when they interact with Spider-Man.
Yeah,
It's not specifically because of spider powers, it's because he's just kind of messed up as a person.
yeah,
So when they jump into him, I know there's one where Emma Frost basically breaks down in tears, saying like, "Oh God, you were just a kid the entire time." She's
yeah.
known Spider-Man for years when she looks into his mind. But yeah, so the antagonist does a drive-by, and they're briefly able to see Sadie Sink's character in there.
Yeah,
Sadie Sink is the antagonist,
yeah. Sadie
and
Sink was
they,
really good in this, I have to say.
mm,
I thought she was very
yeah,
good.
very well acted, and they spend a bit of time looking for who she could be, and then they find her, and they show that her name is Jean Grey,
Right, which brings the
X-Men, into
X-Men
this.
into this. Now,
Mm.
X-Men's not a Sony property; it's a
No,
Marvel
it
property,
was a
right?
Fox
It was a
property, and
Fox
then got
property,
folded into
so they've
Marvel.
obviously made a lot of deals here.
Mm. Well, Fox no longer exists. That got bought out by Disney.
Okay, yeah,
So,
so it's Disney.
yeah,
Okay, which is also Marvel, right?
yeah,
So they I forgot where we were at. Yeah, so they get the facial recognition, and Peter can. I think he talks to the police lieutenant, who does come into it more than we've talked about. She does
yeah,
interact with him a fair bit. Just she's his almost like his sanity check.
yeah.
Um, and he mentions, "Oh yeah, I've got facial recognition going through the entire city looking for her," and she's going, "I pretend I'm not gonna. I didn't hear that." All right,
Yeah.
things like that. So Peter then gets MJ and takes her to Frank because he doesn't know where else she can be protected.
Mm.
I think they've worked out at this point the range of the telepathy is 33 meters, right?
Yeah, because
Or 33
rewatching some of
feet? I
his
can't
foot,
remember.
yeah,
33
it's
feet.
33 feet, I think it is. So about 10 meters.
Yeah.
So they figure this out from rewatching the encounters with her, like jumping between bodies.
I think Black Widow figures it out, right? She uses stuff and she tells it. Is that right?
Well,
Or
no,
am I wrong?
Peter uses. He's got like an AI assistant that he's like, just analyze this fight, and
Oh, is
she
that
tells
EV
him,
or something? EV, is it
yeah,
something like
something
that?
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they figure out the range, and he proceeds to like tell a few people. I think he does tell you. I think he does also tell the Department of Damage Control
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
And
Gives them a heads up. Right.
yeah, and like I say, like we said, he takes MJ to Frank, who is not happy about this, Like he's just so he doesn't want to babysit. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to be involved, especially after the last time. But Peter mentions that he owes him for
Saving his life. He goes
yeah,
one time and all this. Um,
yeah.
I have to say, I think they did the Punisher stuff really well because honestly, from the trailers, I was thinking, oh, they're just gonna soften up, try and
Mm,
make the Punisher fluffy and nice, and that suitable for a
yeah.
PG
I like it
13,
because he
and he
was
isn't, but he's
no.
soft. He is
It's
soft.
like he was trying to be his usual gruesome self,
Yeah,
except the things that happened in this film meant that basically everyone was bulletproof until the end. But yeah, so he wasn't much actual use in a fight. So,
yeah. He just wanted a bit each time. If you got a bigger gun and all this kind of stuff.
yeah,
So yeah, that was kind of funny. But in the end, he relent.
he relents
Peter's
and
like,
looks
go
after her.
look. I've got no one else. I've got no
Mm.
one else. You need to look at. And then MJ has a look at his picture. He says, "Is this your family?" And he goes,
He
"Keep my
gets mad. Like you get a
goddamn."
little bit of like
Yeah,
the
the
Netflix
old one.
version.
Yeah, yeah. So she kind of knows, and she's like, "I like him,"
Mm.
which is funny. That all worked for me. All that
Yeah,
interaction worked for me. I can see why Frank Castle would relent because he likes good guys, doesn't he? The
yeah,
Punisher does respond well to good guys. He likes Cap America.
yeah.
Daredevil a bit. I'm not sure what his relationship to Spider-Man is in the comics. I just don't know. Um,
Spider-Man he started out as a Spider-Man villain, so yeah,
okay. Um,
originally, but now you give him more roles. I think they just kind of don't like each other,
and they avoid
really.
each other probably,
Yeah,
right? Because the Punisher just kills
yeah. Punisher
people.
just kills people, so
Yeah, and Peter does
he's
not do
just a
that.
murderer.
Oh,
So
okay. I've got to just mention we do see one of his in an earlier scene. He takes down the entire. I can't remember. Were they called the Red Ninjas or
so the
something?
Hand.
The
That's
Hand.
those are also villains from Daredevil. They were in the
Yes, they
TV
are.
show.
They are.
Yeah,
But then in a deep bit of exposition, that the head of the CODC says, uh, "We they work for us now. We
yeah,
can turn problems into assets and things like that." So there is this. The Hand will also work for the DODC, right?
yeah,
Just want to mention that because that will become important soon.
yeah.
um, so
So
they he goes off and right, hold on. He then he leaves her with
he
the
gets an alarm
Punisher.
from yeah, he leaves her with the Punisher. He gets an alarm from the from his police scanner saying something's going down at the Department of Damage Control's main like site. He
Yeah,
goes there, and in a previous scene where they were driving about, Jean mentions that they need to go to the. She got the guy she was controlling to drive her to a university.
yes, she
Then we get
does.
to the Department of Damage Control,
Now,
where
just before all this kicks off, we do see a scene with MJ and Frank where he's going. He told me to look after her, and she's like, "Are you just going to let him go on his own?" She says.
mm,
So, bringing Frank into it, right?
yeah,
So he goes. Spider-Man goes to the DODC, and
to try and convince her to stop, and they can surely they can sort out whatever's happening here.
yeah, but
Uh,
she has now
she
possessed
has,
Banner.
yeah,
Who-
in his Professor Hulk state, is
Yes,
not happy. Like
yeah.
she's under got him under control, and is just ripping apart the place,
We
looking
should have.
for
I think we didn't mention that Peter also had developed a chip to control his own powers and put it on the back of his neck,
yes.
but
They
also
worked it out. Yeah,
a universal chip,
yeah,
which he wants to try and use on Jean Grey, right? To try and
yes.
suppress her powers. So he has this chip that suppresses the powers of anything, right?
Mm,
And he meets the Hulk.
yeah.
Um,
Now there's a brief bit of back and forth where, like, as Professor Hulk, he's trying to attack him, and Punisher shows up at this point and basically goes, "Oh shit!" and runs away
yeah,
to
yeah,
hide.
because it's the Hulk, right?
Yeah, because it's the Hulk and he's so outclassed that this is what I mean
I
when I
think
said,
Spider-Man says you're outclassed there, Frank.
yeah.
Bullets won't do it.
So what he ends up doing is like knocking out the Hulk, briefly, which causes him to turn back into just Banner, and
Yeah.
that shocks Jean out of his head. But then Banner gets up and starts going like, "Oh, go, what's going on? Oh, what happened in there? Oh no!" And Peter's like, "Okay, I just need you to put this on." And there's a pretty funny bit where he's like, "You just need to put this on. It's Universal, and Universal owns the rights to the Hulk films, which is why there's not been a
Aha!
solo." And he
Aha!
looks at it in horror. So
I see, a little
yeah.
in joke.
But then he's like, no, no, she's broken something in me. I don't know if I can control it anymore. And Peter's like, is she still in your head? And she goes, girl, not in head. Banner, not in head. There
Oh,
is only Hulk.
Hulk,
And
yes.
proper Hulk is back. I
Yeah, and he
love this
grows.
bit.
And Spider-Man's like, I never knew you got
He's
that big.
massive. Like he looks about 15 feet tall.
Yeah. But then doesn't the Punisher turn up again with a chain gun or something?
No, no,
Oh, it's that
Punisher
later.
tries to shoot him for a bit,
In the
clearly not
face,
doing anything.
just to
Yeah.
try and distract him, right?
Well,
Um,
it's yeah. Either way, it's not doing anything.
oh,
And then Punisher gets possessed by Jean, so
yeah,
he just walks out of the fight, and
yes,
Spider-Man's left like doing a fist fight with the Hulk, which he
yeah,
can and has done multiple times in the comics. Like
yeah, yeah,
Spider-Man can square up to the Hulk.
yeah.
But they have a
But it's
really good
hard
fight
work.
where he's trying to get this inhibitor chip on him,
Yeah,
but his Hulk's skin is too thick for it to actually do anything.
yeah,
So they end up just having to like like scrap. And there's a great bit where Hulk smashes like the side of the building off, and then Peter's able to web all of the rubble to Hulk.
yeah. To keep him suppressed for a bit, right?
Yeah. And it
Um,
like keeps him in place long enough that he basically looks in a mirror and gives up.
yeah. He sees himself and then turns back. And also, he managed to get the drop on Jean, doesn't he?
Yes, he's able to get her.
And put the chip on her, and she's like, "What have you done to me?" Right?
Yeah, and it cuts off her powers.
And
Uh,
as she starts to lose consciousness, she says Sarah,
mm.
um, and
Spider-Man like briefly interrogates the head of
yeah, and he says,
disease
"Oh,
control,
Sarah was
damage
a
control.
colleague who's deceased called Sarah, who, when she was in my head, she must have just seen it, right? I think I
Mm.
remember that, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Um,
And he's like, okay, well, she's been caught now. Job's a good one.
yeah,
And he goes back and lets Mary Jane know. But Mary Jane has found the letter
well,
that he
yeah, we haven't
wrote.
mentioned this. He wrote a letter that was in the last film, I believe. He
Yes, it
actually
was in the
composed it in
end
the
of the
last
last
film.
film.
In
He was going to read it to them, but when he saw she was injured, he felt guilty and was basically like, no, like they're safer as they are.
Yeah, yeah, they're safer as they are. But
Mm,
then she's read this letter and she says, "How can you make this decision for me?"
yeah,
And he explains someone because there's a lot of him visiting the grave of Aunt May.
yeah.
Um, so he's saying, someone I love died because of me, because of
Yeah.
me being Spider-Man, and I didn't want that to happen to you." So there's kind of a lot of grief in there, right?
Yeah.
Really
But
well
she
acted
also makes
scene
it
and
clear
sad.
she still doesn't remember him. This
Yeah,
is just some
I,
person to her.
yeah,
And she does say like, I'm sorry, I'm not that person anymore.
yeah.
But I can't be them.
Yeah. So
Which is really sad, really quite sad. And then he has to take her home
yeah,
because she doesn't actually have her phone with her after they ran.
yeah,
And she ends up in meeting him with meeting Ned
yeah.
and introducing them. And Peter and Ned once again get on like a house on
On
fire.
fire. And they're like best friends, kind of thing.
Yeah, they start quoting Lord of the Rings to each other.
Yeah,
So,
it's a proper thing. And then he again talks to Black Widow, and he says, "Who's?" Asks her who Sarah is, and she says, "Okay, I'll find the files on this. Sarah is Jean's sister. She was
mm,
another telepath kidnapped by
and
the
yeah,
DODC. So Sarah is Jean's sister."
mm,
And then Peter puts it together. He says, "Hold on, he
yeah,
told me Sarah was," and he said he remembered the
yeah,
telepath. No one else has remembered that, so he realizes he's been lied to, right?
yeah,
And he realizes Jean was there to try and rescue her sister. So that appeals to Spider-Man. That's a good person,
yeah.
right? Immediate.
ultimately helping someone is the better outcome of this. And then we cut to the quite gruesome scene with Jean in the damage control set like hold, where she's
Yeah.
been like
Tortured.
basically she's been tied to a chair and forced to activate her powers
Yes.
at like massive overcharge,
Yeah.
where it's clearly like damaging her because they're taking scans of her brain and it's slowly wearing her back, and she tips her head back. And her, to be clear, her sister had the same powers as her. She tips her head back and sees on the vent above the chair. It should say Vent Max, but most of it's been like fallen off.
There's something
And it just
obscure
says,
in some of the
yeah,
letters. Yeah.
it just says VMAX.
So she then realizes her sister, the last message she got from her sister was from this room. So therefore,
Yeah.
his sister was in this same place. Therefore, she's been killed by this shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
By being submitted to the same stuff.
Yeah. And fortunately, for like them, Spider-Man starts his attack on the place just at the point where Jean Grey's powers seem to fully activate, and she's able to freeze everyone in place.
Yeah, there's like a field a mile or so around the, a long distance.
Before it was before it started as telepathy, now it's full on telekinesis. She's just holding people.
Frank is meanwhile driving the van there, and he's just outside this, but he sees the effect of it, so he knows there's some sort of weird psychic field around the DODC. And he goes into Punisher mode. Then
goes off and gets another bigger gun,
a massive sniper rifle. In effect.
Now Peter has a really good fight with the Hand, who are now, because while they're in this bubble, they are under Jean's control.
She can control all of them at once, right?
Yeah, her powers are massively expanded.
Yeah,
and she just takes control of all the Hand ninjas and starts fighting Spider-Man.
Which is a really, I mean, they do this massive jump in the air to attack him, and he goes, "That's really cool," and then starts fighting with them, and he's kind of is he using his new organic webs?
No, so he is currently using his suppressed. He's using the suppressor and his regular sort of skill set.
Yeah.
But as he's fighting, the agents that Jean is taking control of have anti-Spider-Man weapons, and it's becoming a thing of like, okay, these guys clearly wanted to catch you too. So why else would they have this sort of thing that can melt your webbing?
It's a callback to the Vulture tech, isn't it, from the Homecoming, right? So he's fighting all of these, but there is one particular key moment during this fight where he kicks one of the Hand back, who goes flying backwards, and it's just about to be impaled on some spikes that happen to be, part of a damaged sort of metalwork. But Spider-Man webs him, so just before he hits the spikes, saves him. And that is, I think Jean registers this.
Yeah.
Right? Because he keeps saying, I just want to help people. I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want to help you, Jean, and all this. And she's like... and in the end...
She's in full, like, apathy mode.
Yeah.
But he does reach a point where he removes the inhibitor himself.
Yeah.
And kind of becomes, like, fully realized Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But he's got the organic webs. His reactions are so much quicker that there's a bit where he's fighting ninjas either side of him, and then he does a front flip and just sticks himself to the ceiling while still fighting, and more ninjas join in. Yeah, he's holding his own against all.
And you're seeing like the throwing stars go past him in effectively slow motion because he's so fast, and he's just looking at them.
He beats the ninjas. That's kind of the big final fight of really this, cool. And it comes down to a Spider-Man basically talking her down from the edge of doing something truly horrible.
Well, Spider-Man basically lets her come into his mind, so he sees Aunt May and how kind and how accepting of people with different abilities, and and how anyone you save is a great thing.
I viewed it as an oops tricked you into getting a conscience.
Yes. It is a bit of that. So Jean understands. So they've both suffered this loss. She's lost her sister. He's lost her aunt. his aunt.
Yeah.
But just as they're kind of coming to terms, he suddenly, it's really cool how they do this. He suddenly frowns, and there's almost like a dark presence, and he sees this flash come towards them, and it's Frank with his sniper rifle trying to
Yeah.
kill Jean, right? Because he thinks she's
Yeah.
the bad guy. Peter manages to scoop her out of the way, but he takes the bullet himself, which totally devastates Frank instantly.
Yeah.
You can see on his face, what have I done? But so he's really ill, and Frank
Yeah.
does take him to the hospital.
Yeah, they run him to the hospital. Thankfully, he says that they've been able to keep his mask on, even though he wakes up with his mask off.
Yeah. Well, Frank just says, "Don't worry, I got it covered." Like he's kept everyone out of the room whenever he's masked up, or something like that.
Yeah.
And he says Jean managed to use all her powers to keep him alive while they were, while he was getting to the hospital and sort of. And Frank is overwhelmed too. And Peter's like, it was okay. He goes, it was a lot of things, but it's not okay. And he says, "Are you crying, Frank?" And then we go back to the old banter mode, right?
Yeah.
He's crying, "Get the hell out of here," and all this kind of stuff. But John Bernthal puts it across really well, while not breaking character at all for the Punisher, in my opinion. I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man is, Peter's recovering, but the old city kind of turn out and are like,
Yeah, they all know
around
that
the
he's in
hospital.
there. They're just like they're out there with signs like, "Oh,
We
get
love
better,
Spidey
Spider-Man.
and all
We
this.
love Spidey."
New York loves Spidey. We do see Jean just get on a bus and leave the city, right?
Yeah, she leaves. I guess upper New York sort of thing.
We
It's
don't actually see
forested
what happens.
over road. We don't. Yeah.
See what happens to Metzger, do we? We don't.
No, he does say that he got away.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
Frank says
so
that.
he might know things that come into play later. I don't know.
Yeah, potentially. But
so
yeah,
Peter is well enough to leave the hospital, but he needs a distraction. So basically, Frank puts the Spider-Man mask and starts waving out the window and all that.
Yeah. And I did see like some people have been making jokes about the 4 actors that have played Spider-Man.
Yes,
and it's like
nice
Tobey
one.
Maguire, Andrew Garfield.
Now,
John
I did talk about callbacks. There is actually a callback, very first scene between Spider-Man and the Punisher. When he takes the Punisher out by kicking him out of his own van, the Punisher just says, "I'm gonna kill that kid." Yeah. So
I'm gonna be honest. There was a lot of like death flags for Peter at the end here. A lot of sort of symbolizing. It's like, hey, he is gonna die now.
Yes.
Especially because I know about the death of Spider-Man in the comics, which led to Miles Morales becoming
Spider-Man. You thought it might be swerving that way, right?
Yeah, especially because in that, Punisher shot Spider-Man. And him being weakened from that bullet wound led to him dying.
Okay.
So I thought that might happen.
Now, there was, I have to say, there was a bit where Peter was leaving the hospital, and I can't remember the actual words, but there is a tiny interaction with possibly a Mexican child on his dad's shoulders.
Yeah, it's a little black kid on his dad's
was it a
shoulders.
Black kid?
Yeah.
Sorry, my mistake.
But the kid does like the Spider-Man thwip.
Yes, that's
Peter
right.
Peter does it back to him.
Yes.
So maybe that's like a little hinting at Miles. But Miles was also mentioned in Homecoming, because the guy that Peter like sticks to his car is Miles's uncle.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a few mentions to like other spider people. So in Bruce Banner's like university lecture, Cindy Moon's there, and she's another spider person by the name of
didn't know
Silk.
that. Oh, okay.
She's actually been in all of the films, the same actress.
Oh, actually,
so
did.
That might be building to something, but probably not.
Might be.
It's probably just like nice.
Well, they're just having a little thing in the keeping something in the back pocket, sort of stuff.
Most likely.
Okay, now MJ knows, and she thinks he should tell Ned says, "You guys are just like best friends whenever you meet." What? It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. But
This was earlier in the film. She has this discussion, but
yeah,
Peter goes back to that like cafe that he was at, and
yeah.
Ned's there, and he walks up and says like, "Hi, I'm Peter," and
And
Ned says
he
hi and
goes,
holds out his hand to shake it,
yeah,
and Peter does this whole like
comedy handshake.
yeah friend like great handshake that they have together, and Ned's
Knows it.
realize like acknowledges it, and then just goes Peter, and it's like clear he does remember now.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now, what do you think that? Do you think? Now, I was wondering because Ned actually did show some magic powers in No Way Home, right?
Yeah, and I've seen a few like things from No Way Home where when he do they do that this like big high five between themselves,
Right,
the special handshake, and it's when Ned has like the magic ring on, and
right,
at the end of it, it sparks when they do it.
right.
In
So it's a
No Way Home,
protection against the spell,
maybe,
perhaps.
but
Right.
also maybe like he just that's it just was able to break through and Jean Grey taking control of everyone, similar to how Banner said it's like oh it's done something inside him that undid the
Yeah,
Smart Hulk
yeah,
persona.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe that did something
Maybe
that
something
would
to do with that.
that's like helped him, but I
Yeah,
don't know. We'll have to wait to the next film because it doesn't they don't add anything to it there.
right,
It just ends on he does and then Ned recognizes him.
right.
Cut to credits.
Yeah, just got to mention throughout the film, it turns out Ned has created a Spidey tracker, right? So he can
Yes.
tell when, and this used for comic effect when MJ comes back with Spider-Man, but Ned's looking at the Spidey tracker, and he shouts through to MJ, "Hey, Spider-Man's in this block," or something like that, and the
Yeah, he's in the
Spider-Man's like,
area and it's like stood behind him.
and him and Spider-Man start getting on like house on fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, they're quoting Lord of the Rings at each other.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So did you stay for the post credits?
yes, I did.
I did
This is
too.
always
I
a
didn't
post
know what
credits.
was coming. I had no idea if there was, but there
I
almost always
suspect
is.
it's yeah, I suspect it's I'm gonna be frank, Toby Maguire, it's known that he's cast for Doomsday. So I
Right.
think Toby Maguire is going to be back as an alternate as either
Okay.
the alternate Spider-Man that he was or another alternate Spider-Man. And I
Another one.
think he might be on the Fantastic Four ship from the end of
Okay.
Thunderbolts.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But the
Yeah.
post credit scene, basically, we see the Spidey tracker showing Spider-Man is not
Mm.
where we think he is, and it starts drifting
Yeah.
off into space, and then we see in space the Spidey tracker picking up a
Mm.
Spider-Man signal. So yeah,
Mm.
this made me chuckle because it was such a short scene, and it was like after
Yeah.
10 minutes of credits. I did have a bit of
Yeah.
laugh.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, so yeah, really solid film. Really liked
Mm.
it. No real misjudge in here. I thought it was solid. I like the fact a lot of these more recent Marvels have stopped doing their asshole becoming the hero arc. That
Yeah.
isn't a thing
Yeah.
anymore. It got a bit repetitive and boring. And I think the last good one of that was probably Doctor Strange's story, but that just it was every time almost it felt like.
Yeah.
But now we are I mean they've basically in Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, it's been much more an emotional
Yeah.
focus, as well as all the action, and they've made it. They've brought Marvel back to me. As far as how
Yeah.
I feel about it. I feel like I'm enjoying Marvel again.
Mm.
And this Spider-Man's always worked though. I've never had a problem with Spider-Man apart from in the first, I think either first or second Garfield one. There was way too much. Here's plot for the future going on
Yeah.
during the film. That was
Yeah.
awful. That was awful. But the actual Spider-Man stuff was great. So
Mm.
yeah. Right. Right? Should we talk about this in terms of the other Tom Holland films?
Yeah, sure.
How? Let's just rate them. What is this? Is your favorite of the four?
Yeah, like I said before, this was my favorite of the Tom
What?
Holland.
How else would you rate them then? Where did the others come?
I'd say before this is Homecoming, Then No Way Home, and at the bottom is Far From Home. But they're all still really
Yeah,
good.
they're all really good. They're all 8-ish, right?
Yeah.
All 8-ish. For me, I still really, really like Homecoming, and I think that's
Mm.
because of the really strong villain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michael Keaton was off the hook as the Vulture. It was so good. After that, I'd rate personally Homecoming first.
Mm.
After that, I'd actually put um, No Way Home. I just
Okay.
really like how they did that multiverse stuff. Multiverse films are sometimes a bit of a problem, but that one totally
Yeah.
worked for me. I thought it was a really solid one. Then I put this. However, I've got no argument with you putting it first. I totally get it because it's so
Mm.
good, right? It's so good.
Yeah.
And for me, same as you, Far From Home is the fourth in the list for me. Still a great film, though. Still a
Yeah.
great film with some good.
Yeah.
I'm also really impressed with how Zendaya's both acting abilities and her character evolves through this. Because I always had a problem with her in Homecoming. It's like it's too school for school stuff.
Yeah.
Too cool
Too
for
cool
school.
for school.
And it's a bit annoying because it felt like that's Zendaya, not MJ. But
Yeah.
actually, they kind of cover that in the script, and it may have been a bit of a retro thing of that. We got to try and make this character a bit more likable by explaining why she's like this, right?
Mm.
And it worked. It worked, and she gets better and better with each film. And she's very good in June as well, I'd say.
Yeah.
But she's really, I mean, this is brilliant work from Zendaya. However, the whole cast is really, really good. It's great to see Ruffalo back as
Mm.
Banner. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed
I'm
that.
really glad to have Savage Hulk back.
Yeah, and I'm
I
also
got
glad.
sick of the friggin' Smart Hulk.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, I like the Savage. There's no comparison, is there, really?
Mm.
Um, and I really am pleased the Punisher is now in the MC movie universe.
Yeah.
Right? I really like that too. And I really like, I mean, Florence Pugh is off the hook. I mean, both Black Widows have been brilliant, right?
Mm.
But Florence Pugh is really good. It's just a offhand casual kind of Russian way. It just makes me laugh.
Mm.
I enjoy seeing her on screen, and I think she's very, very good. There's really no weaknesses about this film. It's just not like an all-time classic or anything, but it is a really, really solid film. Glad I saw it at the cinema as
Mm.
well.
Yeah.
It was a real treat. It was a real treat. Did you have the Avengers trailer in your screening?
I did not. I had
Whoa,
the
there were some
Dune trailer.
spoilers in there. I'll
Yeah.
tell you.
There's a lot going on in the trailers for Doomsday.
Yeah, so I can't even talk about the trailer but the thing is, it's in the trailers, so people know it. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, I know way too much already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's have a few surprises, but I'm sure there's more. Like you say, if Toby requires because that's something, right? That's something to be
Yeah.
reckoned with. But yeah, I think these have all built to a really solid three movies. The weakest of the more recent ones is one we still both like, the Captain America one, Brave New World. That was the weakest of the recent Marvels, but it was still pretty decent, I think.
Yeah.
And what do you call the new Marvels now? Because you can't Eternals.
Phase 6.
It's not really, is it? I don't know. Quantumate, I don't know. But yeah, it's all shaping up. And there was some really cool stuff. I have to say there was some really good stuff in the trailers, but it's all spoilers, so I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. So,
And in fact, I inadvertently spoiled it for someone by talking about one bit of the trailer I liked. It was like, oh, should have said that. But yeah. Okay, so we like this film quite a bit. Okay, I think. Any final thoughts, or should we wind up?
No, let's wind up.
Okay, so bye from me.
Bye.